Dana White, the president of UFC, is known to be controversial. He did something recently that has brought a lot of praise for him. What did he do? Moreover, UFC has been trying to expand new modes of combat sports, and there are talks about a power slap league. Is there going to be a power slap competition in UFC? Stay tuned for all the biggest stories of UFC. First, what did Dana White do that earned him much respect? The UFC president, Dana White, has written a heartfelt farewell for a UFC fan who passed away earlier this week. Dana White is controversial, but his devotion to his followers is undeniable. He delivers mixed martial arts lovers the finest battles he can make, and he does so regularly. We are all aware that the UFC organization has room for development. Dana, on the other hand, frequently tries to aid individuals in his inner circle, whether or not they are officially part of the team. At UFC 279, Michael's family and friends organized a GoFundMe for Michael to meet Dana at UFC, and an old friend of Dana alerted him about it. Immediately, UFC took action and transported him. Dana described Michael as so cool that he couldn't help but like him. At the age of 16, he had recently passed his driver's test. He was such a fantastic child, and Dana invited him to UFC 281 in New York City. His parents said he was so excited about going to New York City for the event that nothing else mattered to him. Dana put him in the seat just behind Mike Tyson because Dana had so much respect for Mike Tyson. Mike was nice to Michael and took pictures with him and did other things with him without being prompted. Dana White said an emotional goodbye and described little Michael as amazing, incredible, and gorgeous. Dana said he passed away today and I'm effing crushed. I'd like to thank everyone connected with Saturday night for making his weekend memorable, as he hung on long enough to attend the event. My deepest sympathies go out to Michael's loved ones, and I am grateful to Heather and Brian for connecting us. I will always remember him. How did you feel about Dana White's farewell? Let us know in the comments. Up next, what's the fuss about slap fighting? Dana White of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, brings slap fighting to the state of Nevada. There is no denying the global influence of combat sports. Mixed martial arts, boxing, professional wrestling, and even bare-knuckle boxing ensure that fans of all tastes can find an event to watch. Dana White, president of the UFC, is hoping his unconventional sporting event will generate a lot of buzz. Ads for the Power Slap League started airing during UFC 280. It's a slap fighting promotion that has applied to the state of Nevada to be recognized as an official sporting event. The Nevada State Athletic Commission sanctioned the group's bylaw. MMA Junkie was among the first media to cover the group's launch. After putting it through its paces, the UFC saw several promises in slap fight as a sport compared to the early years of the UFC. That, according to UFC Chief Business Officer Hunter Campbell, as quoted by ESPN. Athletes' health and safety are a priority. It was only logical to move toward regulation before the start of the sport. White has a lot riding on the project. Starting in late September or early October, he began advertising the contest. The Apex Center is a potential venue for upcoming UFC events. Slap fighting is a physical contest of some sort. Open-handed slaps are commonly used in professional bouts. Whoever can withstand the onslaught of slaps for the longest emerges victorious. Although slap fighting has been around for quite some time, it has never caught on as a legitimate professional sport. During the height of the COVID-19 epidemic, its popularity skyrocketed. Indeed, in March, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Logan Paul formed a partnership to launch the Slap Fighting Championship. There were 3 judges in the Slap Fighting Championship, and a knockout was the only way to win. If a contestant kept going after being slapped for 30 seconds, they were declared the winner. Each competitor received 1 slap throughout 3 rounds. So, is there going to be a Power Slap League? Moving on, White, Fertitta, UFC COO Lawrence Epstein, and the Ultimate Fighter producer Craig Peligian oversee the Power Slap League. Chiafo LLC is the organization that brought the notion to the commission. The greatest slap competition ever, according to White. Judges will be paid to pick a victor. To score the fight, the judges will utilize the standard 10-point scale used in mixed martial arts and boxing. Before UFC 281 in New York, Dana White held a news conference to discuss the Power Slap League. TBS will air the coverage of the events. There will be a cast house, akin to the Ultimate Fighter, and Power Slap rankings. White stated at a press conference, "I'm quite excited for the premiere of Power Slap. I began working on this in 2017 and I'm still at it. I saw some footage of slap fighting on social media and I was instantly fascinated from the first day I saw it. This might be big." Like mixed martial arts, he knew what was required to make it a legitimate sport. The team got the Nevada State Athletic Commission to approve the event, complete with official rules, rankings, and weight divisions. Power Slap was designed with today's sports enthusiasts in mind. Campbell claims the league will follow the same safety standards, weight divisions, and matchmaking practices as mixed martial arts. He expounded on the rules, saying there would be a reasonable weight difference, mandatory mouth guards and earplugs, and strict enforcement of fouls. Up next, what are the risks of slap competition? Moving on, White rebutted critics by describing dangers, including concussions and brain damage. White said, "The reality is that in an effing fight, boxers take 300 to 400 punches." White predicted that in slap fighting, the opponents would receive 3 slaps. He added that the Athletic Commission was justified in its actions promotions and UFC. Many people will get into this as they got into MMA. White said they rush headfirst towards regulation and regulate the sport to make sure it's safe for all. What you want is a set of regulations that everyone follows before, during, and after the fight, and everyone receives the necessary medical attention to ensure everyone's safety. Regulating it is the right move, and Nevada made the right one, and that's why they're the most admired sports governing body worldwide. The official website states that anyone can join the Power Slap League. They need only submit an in-depth video and supporting resources. In other related news, UFC 284 in Perth will feature Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. After the Russians' shocking victory against Charles Oliveira at UFC 280 in Abu Dhabi, the two faced each other. The mega fight between Islam Makhachev and Alexander Volkanovski has been confirmed for UFC 284 in Perth, Australia next February. The main event for the UFC Lightweight Championship is set for February 11th. Makhachev has become increasingly confident since submitting Charles Oliveira last month to win the UFC Lightweight Gold in Abu Dhabi, and he has been taunting Volkanovski recently. Featherweight world champion Volkanovski took to Twitter to ask, "Are you a man of your word?" after he successfully defended his championship for the fourth time. At Makhachev MMA, "Let's do it," with a hand and pen emoji. Makhachev, who has won 11 consecutive fights, said, "Don't worry, as soon as I get the paper, I'll sign it." Have fun being ranked first in terms of pound-for-pound achievements for the first time being, followed by a winking emoji. When last seen in the octagon, Volkanovski scored a unanimous decision victory over Max Holloway in July. Volkanovski's third victory against the Americans in the last 3 years, sandwiched between Brian Ortega and Chan Sung Jung's triumphs. In other related news, Volkanovski reveals the number of calories he eats daily. UFC lightweight champion Alexander Volkanovski reportedly consumes 4,000 calories daily in preparation for a championship defense. In February, the 145-pound champion will take on Islam Makhachev, the 155-pound king. Featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski has spoken up about training for his next bout with lightweight champion Islam Makhachev. At 145 pounds, Volkanovski has been unbeatable, going 12-0 in the UFC while capturing and defending his title 4 times. The single defeat on the Australian's 25-1 professional record came at welterweight in 2013, and he is now chasing the UFC lightweight belt. In October, Makhachev won the vacant gold by defeating Charles Oliveira to continue the legacy of his boyhood friend, Khabib Nurmagomedov, who now coaches his fellow Russian. Following Makhachev's victory over Oliveira in Abu Dhabi, Volkanovski stepped into the ring and hinted that he and Makhachev might fight when the UFC comes to Perth in February. Volkanovski has spoken about his attempts to bulk up in preparation for a return to the welterweight division. "There have only been 4 champions in the featherweight division, and I've beaten every single one of them," the 34-year-old said to ESPN on Friday, November 11th. "I have only fought someone once, Conor McGregor. No more lightweight bouts for him. Whatever it takes, I'll do 170 pounds. So I've decided to put on some muscle. What I'm eating to lose weight is incredible. You should see my diet, a whopping 4,000 calories." While Volkanovski has won 22 consecutive bouts, Makhachev is now on an 11-fight winning streak and has a professional record of 23-1. Who is going to win this huge contest? Dana White has established that the UFC cares about the fans and will always be committed to recognizing the efforts of the fans. This is lovely. Another thing is we cannot wait for the huge matchup between Volkanovski and Makhachev. Incredibly, Volkanovski consumes about 4,000 calories to add muscles and weight to face his challenger. Will he prevail? Let's have your opinion in the comments. Stay tuned for more UFC news. Like this video and follow for more, and we'll see you at the next one.